Hello and welcome to the beautiful region of Liguria here in northern Italy. I'm here to talk about what life is like for an English teacher anywhere really in Southern Europe. The things that you need to look out for, the paperwork you need to get in order, and what it's like finding a job. Some tips that I have that will help you, whether you're a native speaker or non-native speaker of English, to get work here in Liguria as an English teacher. Okay, let's get into it. So let's talk about it. Teaching English here in Southern Europe. So by virtue of people's first language being Italian, Spanish, French, Portuguese, there's quite a market here for teaching English, which means that there's going to be quite a bit of competition amongst the schools. So there's going to be quite a bit of demand for you if you are a language teacher here. Finding a job, if you have the proper paperwork, shouldn't be a huge deal. Now, when it comes to the proper paperwork, what does that mean? Well, primarily you need the right to work in a Schengen zone or within the European Union. So if you're a European citizen, not going to be a big issue for you. A lot of people watching this channel are from the UK and Ireland. So I guess for the UK, post-Brexit, there might be some complications, but there's lots of agreements between the UK and countries in Europe, so it shouldn't be a huge issue for you. For those of you coming from North America, Australia, South Africa especially, my advice would be to look into your family heritage and see, do you have a grandparent from one of the European countries? If you do, then my advice would be to go and look for some European passport. A friend of mine who trained to be a teacher by doing the CELTA course in the last 5 or 6 years now resides in Germany. In the beginning, it was quite difficult for her because only being on her American passport, she didn't have the right to work in Europe for any period of time. However, she was able to find German heritage, a German grandparent who left Germany 100 years ago and moved to America. And through that, she was able to get some paperwork which allowed her then a much easier path through all of the countries in Europe. So that would be my big advice. If you're coming from North America, look into that heritage, see if you can get yourself a passport. Okay, let's go on and let's check out a little bit more of this beautiful town here in Italy. So when it comes to the actual work of teaching, what kind of qualifications do you need? In general, here in Italy, schools are going to look for a qualification more than just the fact of speaking English as your first language. Now that is going to be a huge advantage to you if your first language is English coming from England, Ireland, United States, Canada, Australia, if you're one of these native speakers. If you're not a native speaker, it's going to be a little bit more challenging for you to get that edge and show that you're an English teacher. However, one of my best friends, actually who I'm visiting here, my friend Dario, he is from here and he was an English teacher. Now the way he did it was just not picking no for an answer, applied for a lot of schools. He also got himself a TEFL certificate. Another great way, if you are a non-native speaker of English, to identify that you are credentialed, that you do have the abilities to teach English, is to get yourself a Cambridge certificate. People ask me about, should I get IELTS or should I get TOEFL or should I get a Cambridge certificate? My advice from the point of view of teaching English was to go for one of the Cambridge exams. So that's going to be the first certificate, the FCE, or the C1 Advanced, or the C2 Proficiency if you can manage it. The reason why these stand out a little bit more from the point of view of teaching is because there's possibility of failing them. Whereas with IELTS, these are more geared towards academic purposes, getting into university, or general reasons for immigration, for example. Whereas the C1 Advanced and the C2 Proficiency, either you're proficient or you're not. Either you're advanced or you're not. And then you can get various grades within those exams. So as a person who hired many non-native speaking teachers in the past, if I saw a C1 Advanced or a C2 Proficiency, I would then kind of like check a box in my head. Okay, this person has the level to teach the students of my school. So then after that, schools are going to look for certificates such as the Trinity CertTESOL or, of course, the Cambridge CELTA course. Some schools will accept one of these quite well regarded with a good reputation TEFL certificates such as the International TEFL Academy or the TEFL certificate. As you go down and towards cheaper and cheaper courses, it's going to be more and more challenging for those courses to stand out for you. Okay, so that's it for this video. Let me know which countries you are considering. What are some of the challenges that you're facing in finding work here in Europe? What are the things that attract you to living and working in Southern Europe or indeed Northern Europe? There's a video on that coming very soon. And let me know any advice that you have for other potential teachers out there looking to get into teaching in this beautiful public world. Okay, that's it from me. Bye for now, and I'll see you in the next one.